First of all, let me compliment you on your interest in a positive energy water electrolysis machine. It is my desire to let you know that this equipment is by far the best investment you can or have made in your health and quality of life. The theme of this presentation is It Takes Positive Energy to Achieve Optimal Health. It is a study in how by changing your water you can improve the quality of life. You see, longevity is often determined by what medical procedures can keep you alive until the insurance money runs out. However, quality of life is a personal choice through lifestyle. Again, welcome to our documentary on the benefit of real health, the natural way. My name is Jan Linhart. It's spelled Jan, but it's pronounced Jan. I am an immigrant and a naturalized citizen, born and raised in Denmark. I came to America to enjoy the freedoms and opportunities afforded us and protected by our servicemen and women. Thanks to one and all who serve and have served to make this possible. For the last 20 years plus, the study of natural nutrition has been a passion of mine, partly out of necessity as we raised 8 children without health insurance. I have given version of this lecture in homes, churches, in health clubs, and on behalf of chiropractors. This will be a fast-paced presentation, but don't worry about it. The DVD will be available for you. If you want a short, flashy sales presentation to match the average consumer's attention span, well, that will also be made available. If, however, you want to know the solution to avoiding what ails 80% of Americans and how to possibly correct your condition, whatever it is, then you are in the right place. As over the next hour, I will astound, entertain, and educate you. Before we talk about the healing power of water, I better start with a disclaimer. Over the past thousands of years, millions have documented the benefits of the water qualities covered in this presentation. However, no clinical trials have been conducted by the skeptics of the U.S. medical industry. Each person is unique, and thus the benefit can in no way be guaranteed. If you wish to expose your doctor's lack of nutritional knowledge, I urge you to consult your physician before starting this or any other way of improving your health. It is my desire to show you the best way to improve your health by investing in a positive energy water electrolysis machine. Only in America is what should be the primary treatment of disease called alternative medicine. Let's take a closer look. By itself, the machine does not heal anything. It, however, brings the body into a state where the body can heal itself. You see, it's not just a matter of longevity. It's about quality of life through optimal health. What if I told you that by altering one item at a cost of pennies per day, your body could prevent and improve 80% of what ails us? You'll learn that 80 to 90% of all ailments have their root cause in 2 avoidable problems. One is the interstitial fluids being too acidic from what we eat and drink, and number 2, free radical damage caused by our chemical lifestyle and pollution. Fixing those 2 areas will do more for your health and quality of life than all the supplements and herbs combined. This truly is the foundation for true wellness. Most people are drinking acidic, cell-aging, oxidizing, toxin-filled water. That's called tap water. And it is making their health journey 100 times harder. The solution is switching to the drinking of alkaline water will address both problems. I will show you why you should invest in a positive energy water electrolysis machine. Dehydration is a problem even for Americans where water is readily available. Here are some of the issues caused by dehydration. Fatigue. Enzymatic activity slows down, causing fatigue. And dehydration on the brain is a top reason for migraines. Asthma and allergies. When dehydrated, the airways shrink and the body creates more histamine. High blood pressure. Blood is 92% water. When dehydrated, the blood gets thicker, causing the blood pressure to rise. Skin disorder. Dehydration causes wrinkles and prevents toxic elimination through the skin, possibly developing dermatitis and psoriasis. Digestive disorders. Lack of alkaline minerals cause acid reflux, ulcers, and gastritis. Bladder and kidney problems, acidic waste, and toxins do not get flushed, so you're more prone to inflammation and pain. Constipation. Dehydration is the main reason for constipation. The colon needs lots of water for proper elimination. Weight gain. It takes water to eliminate fat and toxins. Joint pain and stiffness. Cartilage is mainly made of water. When there is a lack of water, the cartilage compresses, causing pain. So as you can see, dehydration is a major issue. So why all this hype about water? Most people don't even drink much of it. It has no sugar, no flavor. They prefer to get their fluids from pop, coffee, tea, or juices. As you can see, every part of your body depends on the correct ratio of water to avoid debilitating issues. Here are a few reasons why water is essential to life and why you should drink quality water. First and foremost, it is the oxygen transport system. The mitochondria inside the cell is the powerhouse of the body, and like any combustion engine, it takes oxygen to create power. The lymphatic system has, at 94%, the highest percentile of water. The lymph system is your waste transport system. Unlike the circulatory system, it has no pump. It depends totally on movement of the body to circulate. That is why bedridden or wheelchair-bound people depend on someone to massage or move their limbs to stay healthy. If the percentage of water is reduced in the lymphatic system, it gets thick and sluggish. Water also cushions the organs and keeps the bones from rubbing together, causing pain. And it's also used to regulate the body temperature, keeping it within a tight range by either heating or cooling the body, and a host of other beneficial purposes, too many to go into here. The human body is extremely complex. You have 90 trillion cells, including 10 trillion brain cells. You become what you eat and what you drink as your body regenerates. So it's never too late to make changes on how you treat your body. I call this divine repentance body style. So it's never too late. Your digestive cells only last for 5 minutes. Your stomach lining for 5 days. Your skin, which is the most part that you vacuum up, lasts for a month. And liver 6 weeks. And so on down the line. 98% of your body gets replaced in less than a year, and a complete overhaul takes 5 to 7 years. The question then becomes, will the quality of the replacement be identical to the old one, or be a new, improved version? Well, that's entirely up to you. It takes good water and healthy nutrition for the body to build and improve cells and organs. Here's another mental image. What if your local power plant shut down, causing a power outage? What will happen to the food in your refrigerator? Well, the water will go stale, lipids go rancid, your protein will start rotting, the minerals will start rusting, and the carbohydrates will develop fungus. Well, your body is no different. Aging is a rotten condition. In many cases, as local cells die, the microbes that were designed to break you down upon death go prematurely to work. I would like to introduce you to Dr. Otto Warburg, who discovered the root cause of tumor and cancer growth. Starting in 1923, he investigated the metabolism of tumors and cancer cells and received the Nobel Prize in Medicine for his discovery in 1931. He literally experimented on thousands of animals. When he gave them acidic food and acidic water, they developed tumors and cancers. When he replaced their food and water with alkaline products, he discovered that when the interstitial fluids, the body fluids, reached a pH of 7.5, cancer went dormant, and around pH 8, the cancer cells literally collapsed. He discovered that all normal cells have an absolute requirement for oxygen, but cancer cells can live without oxygen. He said that's a rule without exception. The Western world have rejected this inspired man, and they still seek a magical pill for the cure for cancer. It goes back to the number one reason for our medical problems, which is the fact that we're too acidic. Otto Warburg proved to the world that the pH of the body was a determining factor in whether you had a healthy or diseased body. In his day, the only way to alter the pH of the body was by exclusively eating alkaline foods. Who's this explorer who dared the elements to find the key to longevity? It was Dr. Henry Coanda on the right. He was called the father of fluid dynamics, Nobel Prize winner for fluid dynamic research, and the inventor of the first jet engine. He, late in life, turned many of his discoveries over to his young protege, Patrick Flanagan. Dr. Coanda, at the age of 78, lived with the Hunza people for quite some time. While there, he studied the properties of the water consumed by the people of Hunza in the Himalayan mountains to learn the secret of their longevity, 120 to 140 years, and the low incidence of disease. He discovered the negatively charged high alkaline nanocolloids that make the Hunza water unique. However, I seem to get ahead of myself. We'll get back to Coanda and Flanagan later. Let's take a trip with the famous explorer to the Himalayan mountains on the Central Asia. Since Victorian time, they have been known as the roof of the world. We'll go to the northern part of Pakistan looking for the Hunza people. As we can see, it is completely mountainous, inhospitable in the wintertime. The local understand the adversity. However, the area is rich in culture. Spring, however, brings a paradise to life, and most likely inspired Jem Hilton to write Lost Horizon about the mythical Shangri-La, or even Shambhala, is inspired by this region. It is truly a lost paradise. To show how God's love for the region, a lake in the shape of a heart is found there. It is, however, the people that brought our explorer to this region. It was the secret to the advanced age of the Hunza people that he wanted to find. They had health and longevity, quality of life, something we lack in our modern society. Living with the Hunza people, Coanda discovered that as the water evaporated, it went into the clouds, where it cooled and condensed, returning to the earth as rain. This rain would fall as snow on the mountains. As the snow melted and came down the mountains, it attracted millions of alkaline minerals. Due to the activity of the water, it was small clustered and pure. The people, animals, and plants all enjoyed this life-giving water. As the people lived a stress-free life, they maintained an alkaline, healthy body and were able to be active until around the age of 120 to 140, when their cells could no longer reproduce and they would die of old age. If this water cycle did not continue due to excessive heat or cold, life as we know it would not exist. As water is much like your body, it requires movement to keep it from getting stagnant. By constantly being evaporated and filtered, it is able to be the foundation for life. We now return to Dr. Henry Coanda. As mentioned before, when he lived with the people of Hunza in the Himalayan mountains, he learned the secret of their longevity and low incidence of disease. In my grandmother's time, the only way to become alkaline was by eating alkaline food. Thanks to Henry Coanda and later Patrick Flanagan, today there's an easier and a better way to shift your body into an alkaline condition using water electrolysis. They realized that electrolysis was nothing new. A battery is basically a simple electrolysis machine creating pH 0, acid, 10 million times more acidic than pH 7 water. They became the first to split water molecules using electrolysis in a laboratory setting. Many of you have probably done this experiment in school, where you take water and split it into hydrogen and oxygen. They discovered that if you tapped into the water from next to the anode, they would have acidic water, and if they tapped into the cathode, that was alkaline water. I will not bore you with the chemical reactions. Suffice it to say that when some of the hydrogen bonds were broken and they separated the chamber by a membrane, they were able to separate the less desirable minerals and colloids on the acidic side, while at the same time they were able to create small clustered alkaline water with antioxidant properties containing beneficial minerals. More about that next. As you can see on the picture on the right side, there is an inverse relationship between the acidic and the alkaline values, and the sum of them will always add up to 14. For example, if you generate pH 9.0 on the alkaline side, you will have pH 5.0 through the acidic discharge hose. As shown on this pH word cloud, there are many essential interactions in your body that depends on specific pH ranges. It is truly a balancing act, and your body can use all the help it can from you by supporting it in complementary choices that will keep you healthy. Let's look at the benefits of alkaline water. To be specific, small clustered alkaline water to strengthen the immune system. In this seminar, we'll take a closer look at the 10 qualities of ideal water. It obviously needs to be filtered to remove the contaminants such as fluoride and chlorine. It needs to be nanoclustered by 6 molecules for complete hydration. Hexagon in shape for easy cell wall penetration and hydration. Ultra oxygenated for energy healing and overall well-being. Alkaline pH 9 to 10 to offset our acidic lifestyle and promote health. It needs to be bioavailable alkaline minerals. Active negative ions, antioxidant water, to offset the free radical damage and be able to kill surface bacteria and topical infections in about 30 seconds with pH 2.0. Emulsify oil, such as herbicides and pesticides, with pH 12.0 water, and be able to make an instant cereal or soup with 140 degree hot alkaline water. Let's take a closer look at each one of those. The first of the 10 water qualities of alkaline water from a positive energy water electrolysis unit is that it has to be able to filter the water to remove contaminants such as fluoride and chlorine. As you can see here, there is an internal filter, predominantly charged carbon, to remove toxic chemicals. The recommended life of the filter is 3,000 liters, close to 800 gallons, before replacement is needed. With the average person drinking 3/4 of a gallon per day, plus various rinsing of meat and vegetables, it will support 3 people for a year. If the water is especially hard or contaminated, such as some well water or with farm runoff, you can add 2 pre-filters in series with a 6,000 and a 9,000 liter lifetime. The Lancet Neurology medical journal just classified fluoride as a neurotoxin. Rinsing or brushing with fluoride is one of the fastest ways for the toxin to enter the bloodstream. When the fluoride enters your intestinal tract, it is just as effective as killing your beneficial flora as destroying the bacteria in the water, thereby reducing your ability to extract the nutrients from your food, causing a host of malnutrition problems. You may say that the public water is safe and that it has been inspected, but you certainly want to eliminate everything that says fluoride from your house. You have most likely learned, don't drink downstream from the herd. I live downstream from several cities, and my river water has animal waste, herbicides, pesticides, industrial runoff, plus hospitals flush tons of expired prescriptions medications into the sewer system that end up in the rivers and subsequently in my drinking water. You can actually measure the residual drug content in the supposedly clean drinking water. Plus, our rivers and streams have mutant fish and frogs as a result of the drug dumping and farm runoff. Then what about bottled water? Bottled water is not a good source for health-promoting water. 99% of bottled water is, for the most part, just slightly filtered municipal water bottled in cheap plastic bottles that leach fluorocarbons, so you drink cancer-causing plastic. It was found that bottled water often have more bacteria as they are stagnant and often warm, creating the ideal breeding ground. Obviously, bottled water is not a good source. In this seminar, we are looking for the 10 qualities of ideal water. Now we'll look at the need to have small, clustered water. The water from your municipal water system is on an average 15 to 20 water molecules clustered around the impurities and toxins in the water. However, the opening in your cell wall is only 6 water molecules large. The body has then to break it down before it can use the water, leading to poor hydration. The water from our machine is broken down into 6 water molecules, ideal for hydration. They group together in an organized way to make it easy for the body to take what it needs. It is the small clusters that makes a huge difference. For example, for complete hydration, you want to drink water that has a cluster size of 5 to 6 molecules. A 1% deviation in hydration equals a 5% drop in efficiency. That is why athletes constantly drink on a high performance event, such as a marathon. However, they could drink less and still stay hydrated, as 1 glass of small clustered water have the hydrating effect of 5 glasses.
In this segment, I want to show you the importance of small clustered water. With tap water, the clusters are 15 to 20 molecules large, whereas the opening in your cell wall is only 6 molecules large. So ideally, you want to take 5 molecule water so it can permeate your body and totally hydrate you. Now, I tested that the hard way. I took half a gallon of regular tap water one day, and I became really heavy and sloshy and felt really bad for the rest of the day. The next day I came back and I took half a gallon of my high pH small clustered water. It permeated my body and enlightened my mind. Now that's the hard way of doing it. Let's see if we can find an easier way. If I take a tea bag, let's say green tea, and I want to cold brew some tea, I put that into my tap water. As you can see, it's not doing a very good job of cold brewing, even though the bag is already nice and wet. So now I'll put it over in my water and see if I can cold brew myself some tea. It's doing a pretty good job at it. So now it finally learned how to make tea. Now let's see, maybe now that it knows how to do it, I can put it over in my city water and make some more tea. No, that didn't work very well either. Maybe it ran out. So I'll put it over in my high pH water and see if I can make myself some more tea. And sure enough, it will brew another nice, delicious cup of tea. So the object is, if you want to get fully hydrated, use high pH water. Delicious.
The third item on our list is the hexagon shape, as that is the shape of the opening in the cell wall. Have you ever seen a child trying to get a round peg into a square hole on their toy? It's not possible. The same holds true for the cell wall. Even that shape has to match. Because the red blood cells are 10,000 times larger than a hexagon water cluster, the oxygenated water can get in and out of the blood, and the plasma stays in. Number 4 on the list is ultra-oxygenated for energy, healing, and overall well-being. Specifically, how we can benefit from breaking the hydrogen bond between 2 water molecules to get increased oxygen in form of OH-. Let's take a look at that. Dr. Coenda experimented with several shapes of the anode and cathode, as well as using different precious metals as conductors. In the case of electrolysis on water, they got the best result when they used solid titanium plates that have been electroplated with a thick layer of platinum. This is the same principle used today, where multiple plates were used at the same time to increase the surface area. Some machines today use mesh or perforated plates to increase the surface area. I do not recommend this, as most of the areas in America have hard water that will clog the perforations and reduce the lifetime of the machine. Our machine used solid titanium plates thickly electroplated with platinum. Some have a few, as 3 or 5 plates, but most have 7. In order to get a machine that can deliver the medical bacterial killing range of pH 2 on the acidic side and the emulsifying pH 12, you need 9 plates to achieve that range, and that's why we market the 9-plate unit. Now we'll return to the drawing of the electrolysis chamber and the 3-step process. First, the DC voltage is added, causing some of the hydrogen bonds to break. The more power you apply, the more hydrogen reactions you get. As you can see here, in the alkaline part of the chamber, some of the hydrogen will be attracted to the negative charge on the cathode, and you'll have mostly the healing oxygen OH- escaping, mingled with a few hydrogen H+. Of course, the exact opposite takes place around the anode, thus creating acidic water in response to the power applied. The sum of the pH will always be 14. If I tell the machine to give me pH 9 for drinking, I will have pH 5 on the acidic discharge side of the machine. It is all about oxygen because, as Otto Warburg discovered, a body deficient in oxygen is prone to cancer. Your brain is about 3/4 water, where electricity moves between the synapses at a rate faster than the speed of light. It is more complex than the fastest computer with over 10 trillion cells. We would have to create a server with 5 Xeon processors and 40 subprocessors, and even at that, the computer won't be able to reason or draw conclusions or automatically add new transistors based on observations. To function correctly, the brain needs 3 times more oxygen than the rest of your organs. We take for granted the millions of observations, conclusions, and instructions the brain have to make just to get us safely across the street. To get more oxygen, I recommend that you learn how to breathe correctly through your diaphragm. You could also add 8 drops of food-grade hydrogen peroxide to 8 ounces of water. Hydrogen peroxide is H2O2 and will split into 2 each H2O and the beneficial O2. To get the oxygen the body needs, I recommend that you get a 9-plate positive energy water electrolysis machine capable of delivering small clustered alkaline water with millions of antioxidant ions. Either way, you need to make a choice in how you get your oxygen, or one will be assigned to you later in life. So now list number 5 is drinking alkaline pH 9 to pH 10 to offset our acidic lifestyle and promote health. It is a proven fact that disease goes down as the interstitial pH goes up. It's called a logarithmic scale. Let's look at the pH scale horizontally. You'll see the Coca-Cola on the far left acidic side and my alkaline water on the far right. As you can see, Coca-Cola is 70,000 times more acidic than neutral pH 7. Personally, I drink alkaline water, and my water at 9 to 10 pH is 100 times more alkaline than pH neutral. Whenever you consume something that is acidic, you should combine it with something equally alkaline. To understand Otto Warburg's work, we must understand pH. It stands for potential hydrogen. It's on a scale of 0 to 14, where 0 is as acidic as battery acid, and 14 as alkaline as drain cleaner, and pH 7 is neutral. Just like the Richter scale, for earthquakes, each deviation from pH 7 is a tenfold increase or decrease. Ignorance can be deadly when it comes to health. I used to drink 44 ounces of pop daily with a pH of 2.8. My body was at pH 5.5, the ideal environment for disease and cancer. Since the pop that I drank was 20,000 times more acidic than the water I now drink is 500 times more alkaline, I would need to drink 13.75 gallons of pH 9.5 water just to neutralize the damage done by my 44-ounce drink. It is an established fact that all disease function in an acidic environment, whereas to get and stay healthy, your interstitial fluids need to be alkaline. As I in the past drank pop, I suddenly found my body in a 5 to 6 pH range. My carpal tunnel and tendinitis flared up to the point where I had to sleep with pillow splints on to avoid the pain. Once I shifted my body into a past pH 6.5, I was permanently pain-free, as it was the acidity around the joints that caused the pain. The study of pH is a favorite among student experiments, testing all kinds of pop to show the destructiveness of pop. Coca-Cola, for example, is 50 million times more acidic than pH 10 alkaline water, and it takes pH 10 just to neutralize root beer. Acidic fluid in processed food is the main contributor to osteoporosis, as most people start experiencing degenerative diseases at age 35. What should have been a lifetime of alkaline reserve have been depleted, and the body starts to rob calcium from the bones to neutralize the acid in the food and drink that we consume. I should have been aware of the pH relationship because as a family we created a water feature with streams and 3 waterfalls in our backyard. One year I wanted to have fish in my lower mini pond. The fish, however, pooped in my water, making the water acidic, and one by one they died. When I corrected the problem with better filters and UV lights, the water became so healthy and oxygenated that algae grew and took over the pond. If it had been my pool, I would have starved the algae using oxygen-depleting chlorine, making the water acidic. Your body's no different. The chlorine in the tap water makes you acidic, and the fluoride causes cancer. Your cells literally swim in contaminated body fluids. Again, let's remember Dr. Warburg and his Nobel Prize-winning discovery. Believe it or not, if they were to keep their circulation pump on to prevent stagnation, this green pool is actually a very healthy pool. Here we have a picture of healthy blood and cancerous blood. Blood with too little water or too much water. You need to have it what's called isotonic, where the amount of water is just perfect. My own grandmother was diagnosed with cancer in 1940 and was told that if they did not operate, she would die. Her intuition told her that if they did operate, she would die. So she turned to a nutritionist who remembered that Dr. Warburg had found the cure for cancer in 1931. My grandmother lived another 35 years without having a sick day. It's all about the oxygen. My grandmother became a strict vegetarian, eating only from the green part of the chart. I would go around the parks in Copenhagen as a child and pick thistles, stinging nettles, and dandelions for her salad. And as mentioned, she lived another 35 years free of cancer. So far, we discovered that tap water will slowly kill you, as the chemicals generate nutrition deficiencies, diseases. Both good and bad cells get destroyed by the bad water. This is by far the best product if you want ideal water, including giving you pH 9.5 water. You see, water holds 20 times more oxygen than does acidic tissue. So changing your drinking habits to 8 to 10 8-ounce glasses of pH oxygen-enhanced water, 9.5, is guaranteed to improve your health. There is a direct correlation between mood and pH. Obviously, a healthy person is usually a happy person. The following items are the consequences of living in an acidic state. When the pH drops, the microbes in the blood mutate and become pathogenic. Oxygen decreases and the cells suffer. Constructive enzymes turn destructive. Brain, heart, and other organs get compromised. Mineral assimilation plummet. I would be in a bad mood too if that was the condition of my body. Number 6 on the list is bioavailable alkaline minerals. What does it mean to be bioavailable? Bioavailability refers to the amount of minerals that can be assimilated by the digestive system and used for cellular activity and health benefit. They need to be nano-sized, as it is hard for the body to break down large metallic objects. For example, magnesium is not easily absorbed in the body unless first attached to a transporting substance. For this reason, many supplement manufacturers have chelated magnesium to organic and amino acids. A few of these include magnesium oxide, magnesium sulfate, and magnesium carbonate. As you will learn, our machine does all the work for you by removing the non-essential elements out of the acidic discharge while breaking down the beneficial minerals into nano-sized particles. If tap water and bottled water are not good for you, what about alternatives? RO water or distilled water? Reverse osmosis or RO water is usually as pure as distilled water. The problem is that RO and distilled water contain no minerals. Water is a mineral magnet and will attract the minerals from your body, so you end up wasting your needed minerals. Next, let's look at a demonstration of the importance of minerals.
In this segment, I want to talk about the importance of minerals. Now, in the movie Matrix, they called humans walking copper-top batteries. And that really is true, because each cell is a small battery. Between the potassium on the inside and the sodium on the outside, it generates 90 millivolts when it's in a healthy state, 40 millivolts if it's in a cancerous state. But in order for the body to work, or the system to work, it has to have minerals. So here is RO water, or distilled water, and as you can see, they call that dead water for a very good reason. Here's my water. It conducts electricity, whereas the dead water cannot conduct electricity. Again, the importance here is to show you that without minerals, your body can simply not function and send the signals to where they need to go. Later on in the presentation, I will show you how this actually worked. Thank you.
So as we look at this table, you'll see that the body consists of mainly oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, sodium, a little bit of chlorine of the good kind, and magnesium, and some trace elements that all have to be there. If you have diminished minerals in your body, you will have diminished nerve and brain function. When the beneficial minerals get processed through the positive energy H2O ionizer, it gets broken down into the smaller size and become charged ionic minerals and mingle with the body's own minerals to achieve the common goal as signal carriers to the body and catalyst to a host of functions. As you can see, just about all of the essential minerals become bioavailable in our alkaline water. You may notice that calcium and magnesium have the same color. That is due to the fact that they are complementary, just as sodium and potassium are an essential part of our electrical system. It is the potassium inside the cell and the sodium outside the cell that makes the exchange of electrical signals possible, and also why you use a saline solution to rinse your eyes and administer intravenously in the hospital. The odd one is iron, Fe. It is an item that needs to be most regulated in the body, as it has a tendency to rust or get oxidized easily if there is an insufficient amount of antioxidants in the body. As you can see, the beneficial elements concentrate in the alkaline water. They are the ummy ones, the ones that end with like magnesium, sodium, calcium, and potassium. There's no such thing as ferrium, so iron is not ummy, whereas the less desirable ates, such as nitrate, sulfate, carbonate, and again we got an odd one for the chloride that simply turns into chlorine that you can smell on the low pH discharge water. Number 7 on the list is active negative ions, antioxidant water to offset the free radical damage. This is one of the most important things that you'll hear today. Free radicals are the bachelor molecules that are missing one or more of the negative electrons in the outer ring, thus altering your DNA. When the free radicals alter the human DNA, they become the catalyst to 80 of the top 100 causes of disease and death. What's interesting, you'll notice that an atom is about 99.999% empty space. And from the center or the nucleus of the atom to the outer ring would be the same as putting a pinhead in the middle of a beach ball. So as you saw, it is called oxidation or rust. However, it is really free radicalization, as it is not the exposure to oxygen that is the problem. The issues listed here have one thing in common. They're either created or amplified by free radical damage. As we look at this massive list of issues, many of them could be covered under the label inflammation. However, it is impossible to have inflammation in an oxygen-rich alkaline body. Do you know somebody who suffers from diabetes, Alzheimer's, liver disease, cystic fibrosis, kidney failure, Crohn's disease, cancer, asthma, dementia, hepatitis, or many of the other ones that we saw here? These are all issues amplified by oxidative stress. The problem associated with free radical damage is easily seen as rust on metal or the rotting of an apple. Now let's take a look as our free radical bounce through the cell into the nucleus, through the chromosomes, back up the DNA, and creates a big mess. Remember the size. The cell is only 1/10 of a hair. Blood is a 1/100th of a hair molecule, a 100,000th of a hair, an atom 1/1,000,000th of a hair, and an electron that you see chasing around is a 100 millionth of a hair. So it all happens at the subatomic level, expanding the destruction. As mentioned before, the free radical damage is when the bachelor molecule steals a wife from a healthy cell. It then becomes a bachelor molecule that steals from the next. This oxidative stress chain reaction can disrupt millions of processes when it finally stops and the cells have been initiated. Now, the actual process, as you can see here, is actually quite complex, and I'm going to bore you with all the reactions that you see going on here. So it's rather complex chemistry. But to keep it simple, this is called an oxidative stress chain reaction, and it usually swaps around 1,000,000 times, unless blocked by a healthy immune system or giving the missing electron. However, I call it a wife-swapping version of musical chairs. When a person is left without a chair, it has been initiated. So let's take a look at those ions. At the alkaline side, the beneficial ions are repelled by the negative electrodes and freely join the water and the hydroxide OH- for the improvement of your health. I compare that to inviting a trainload of bachelorettes to a bachelor party going on inside your body, shifting the cancers and tumors and damaged cholesterol from malignant to benign. On the few negative ions on the acidic side mostly get attached to the positive electrode. Now you choose your lifespan and quality of life by where you live. The question is, would you take $1 million job per year in Beijing, China, knowing that for each year you work there, your lifespan will be reduced by a year? And when you got home, you would suffer and die at the age of 55 to 60? The genetic potential for the human body is 120 to 140 years. At that point, the cells can no longer replicate, and you die of old age. By choosing to live in Kansas City if I do nothing, I have statistically reduced my lifespan to 75 years, as here, about 2% of the air in Kansas City is free radically damaged. I love an occasional rack of ribs or 12-ounce aged steak. However, each have as many free radicals as a pack of cigarettes. The Kansas City Star building clad their building in copper to get the green effect against their smoked glass. Within 1 month, the copper turned green. That is free radical damage or green rust, showing me the quality of the air that I breathe. Now, you could move to the pure air of the Andes Mountains and live to the age of 90 or 100. Or if you are willing to eliminate stress, you could move to Tibet, plant a garden, drink glacier milk, and sit around and yak all day and live to be 120 or more years old. The copper sheeting in the Andes Mountain or in the Tibetan mountains would, by the way, stay nice and shiny, as there are no free radical damage in the air at those locations. ORP, oxidation reduction potential, is what is called when there are extra free radical scavengers in water. That is why having this water with a high ORP will overcome that free radical damage. This is what antioxidants look like in the raw, with herbs such as Peruvian cat's claw, pycnogenol, and a host of fruits and vegetables such as vitamin C, vitamin E, juice from acai berry, goji berry, noni berry, pomegranate, blueberry, grape juice, wine, or many others. As you can see here, coffee berry is the latest to arrive on the scene with more antioxidants than the rest combined. You so far learned the benefit of alkaline water. Let's see if there are any commercial waters that you can buy that are any good. Here we are comparing the pH of the various waters. Then we use an ORP meter to measure the ORP, which is whether an item is corrosive or it is an antioxidant. If the value is negative, then obviously it is a good antioxidant. If it is a positive, it is a corrosive. So if you choose to drink water, the least damaging water product would be real water, Evermore, and Essentia water. Smart water is stupid water, as it is both corrosive and acidic. Alive water is actually dead water, and vitamin water is for the most part not beneficial. If you choose, however, to drink your antioxidants in form of OH- hydroxide ions, you need a good water machine. The advantage of water is that it does not need to be digested and travel directly into the bloodstream, where immediately the free radical scavengers go to work breaking down tumors, cancers, and correcting damaging cholesterol, etc. As I mentioned, you can measure the ORP with an ORP meter. However, as you can see here, because of the free radical damage in the air, the water has a half-life. The ORP has a half-life of about an hour. So let's say my machine produced 800 ORP. That means that you have millions of negative ions chasing around inside. But after about an hour, you have 400. An hour later, you have 200. Then you have 100, then 50, and then who cares? So it's very difficult to hold on to it, and that's why you need to drink it fresh. You get the most benefit if you drink it within the first couple of hours. Next item on the list is kill bacteria and tropical infections in 30 seconds with pH 2.0. As mentioned earlier, at pH 2.5 and below, you have the ability to destroy pathogens. This kind of water is only intended for external use, to kill bacteria on infected tissue, or as a household cleaning solution to break down lime deposits. The ministry at Japan discovered that it took less than 30 seconds to disinfect surgical instruments. It is also ideal to disinfect the third dirtiest place in most homes, and in that case, that's your toothbrush. I recommend that you soak your toothbrush in pH 2.0 water prior to use. I got to test my knowledge in real time when one of our horses got spooked in a thunderstorm and ran into a branch, creating a hole in her flange. The vet could not stitch it as the hole was too large. He said it had to drain and that it would create a nasty scar. He gave me some black powder. However, the horse kicked me every time I got near. I then prepared 3 bottles. 1 with pH 2.5 to kill bacteria, 1 with pH 11.5 to oxygenate the area to promote healing, and the last bottle with colloidal silver to block infection. It quickly healed, to the veterinary's surprise, without a scar. Number 9, emulsify oil, such as herbicides and pesticides, with pH 12.0 water. The Japanese ministry discovered that when they produced the bacteria-killing pH 2.0, the discharge water was 12.0, equal to the pH of soapy water. Again, this is generally for external use only. This water, 11.5 to 12.5 water, will actually emulsify oil. All herbicides and pesticides are oil-based to prevent the rain from washing it off. Most people simply wash off the dirt from their produce and they eat the herbicides and pesticides. Let's take a closer look at emulsified oil.
In this segment, I want to show you how you can remove herbicides and pesticides from your produce using nothing but water. Now, your science teacher may have told you that oil and water do not mix. Let's see if that's true. All right. And sure enough, it is separating. So when you take your produce to the sink to clean it, you're removing the dirt, leaving the oil-based herbicides and pesticides in place. Now, what if you were to clean it with high pH water? As you can see, the high pH water breaks down the oil, totally emulsifies it. So when you are cleaning it with high pH water, you are totally removing the herbicides and pesticides. What would you rather have? Clean vegetables with herbicides and pesticide, or without?
And that brings us to number 10. Make instant cereal or soup with 140-degree hot alkaline water. Whether you make tea, instant coffee, hot cereal, or soup, it's not just about convenience, By using pH alkaline small clustered water, more of the flavor is extracted for a tastier product. Why drink ordinary coffee when you can brew it with alkaline water? The small clustered water will extract the maximum nutrition from the coffee, while at the same time buffering the acidic effect of the coffee. Know exactly what you drink with our industry first built-in temperature, pH, or a P meter displayed on our large 2.8-inch display. Other features include flow control, self-cleaning, anti-scaling, electroplated. The platinum is not sprayed onto the titanium. It has touch panel and the ability to deliver from pH 2 to 12 with a beneficial ORP of close to -900. It uses SMPS power for higher performance and extended life. What then are the uses of the various pH ranges? pH 2 kills pathogens and bacteria. pH 5.5 cleans the skin. It becomes like an astringent. pH 7 is for time-released medication. pH 8 to 10 is safe drinking range. pH 12 is to emulsify herbicides and pesticides. I promised I would reveal the way I got the light to turn on by plugging it into the water. First, a little reminder. You should drink half your body weight in ounces. A person weighing 120 pounds should drink 60 ounces a day. A person weighing 180 pounds to 90, and somebody at 220 should drink about 110 ounces per day.
All right, as I promised, I was going to show you how I was able to generate conductivity. First of all, this is really not an extension cord. Second of all, I took the hot wire and separated it and brought it in between these 2 points. So this is actually hot. When I put it into the dead water, as you can see, has very little conductivity between the points. When I put it in my water, I have adequate conductivity. And that's the same as in your body. If you have insufficient minerals, you cannot conduct. But with adequate minerals, you are able to conduct. And that's how I was able to achieve it. I did not run the light on the water, obviously.
If you come away with the following commitment, my presentation would have been successful. That of eliminating soda pop and drinking half your body weight in ounces. Your health benefits will be measurable. Life is full of choices. Many poor choices we make in ignorance. Try not to get fooled by imitation and by misinformation. I found this dehydrated water. It made me laugh about misinformation. And don't be taken in by a pretty box with inferior internals. These are the 4-plate unit that I found of a $1,600 machine. Our unit have over 300 square inches of surface area. That's more than 3 each 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper. You also need to be aware of overpriced units costing over $4,000. These dealers pay out $1,700 in multi-level marketing commissions and over $400 in management profits. Positive energy units are priced right, maximum value for minimum cost. Having now been shown the choice between dead and destructive water and live water from a positive energy water electrolysis unit, I hope you'll make the correct choice. The machine comes in various colors to fit your decor. I personally like the black unit, but it comes in blue, gold, pink, and green. While we have access to 4 different models with various number of plates, we have chosen to sell and build this presentation around the 9-plate unit. There's no glory in telling someone that we also sell the second and the third best, because when you compromise on features and capability of the machine, you're also making compromises on your health. So here are some of the key features and the technical specifications. Enjoy improved health by drinking small clustered alkaline water. We have made all possible attempts to avoid using copyrighted images. Please contact us if we inadvertently use your intellectual property so we can correct it. Thank you for watching our documentary on the benefit of real health by drinking alkaline water. As a North American distributor and service facility, I am always available to answer your questions and/or concerns. You can reach me at yen at healthtousa.com, or you're free to call me at 816-914-5161 with your questions or concerns. Thanks again.